Imagine a life where your every move is controlled, where your health is manipulated for the world to see. This was the chilling reality for Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a young girl whose life took an unthinkable turn due to the twisted actions of her own mother, Dee Dee. Dee Dee, it turned out, was a classic example of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, a mental disorder where a caregiver feigns or induces illness in another person for attention and sympathy. Gypsy's life was dominated by a litany of false medical conditions, all fabricated by her mother. She was subjected to a barrage of unnecessary medical interventions, her health and well-being held hostage to her mother's delusions. But the manipulation went deeper. Dee Dee deceived Gypsy about her own age, making her believe she was younger than she truly was. She controlled Gypsy's every move, restricting her freedom and keeping her isolated from the world. In a world full of medical interventions and lies, Gypsy was a prisoner in her own home. But even the most patient souls have a breaking point. A breaking point Gypsy reached after years of being subjected to her mother's cruel and deceptive games. Gypsy found solace in an online relationship, a beacon of hope in her dark world. This relationship would soon spiral into a plot to murder her mother, a drastic measure born out of desperation and fear. The murder itself was a gruesome act, the aftermath a whirlwind of shock and disbelief, and yet, it was the aftermath that brought the most startling revelation. Gypsy began to unravel the extent of her mother's deception, the lies about her age, the unnecessary medical treatments, the manipulation that had kept her trapped for so long. It was a grim reality that shattered the illusion of a sick child needing constant care. The truth was far more sinister. Gypsy was not the sick child her mother made her out to be. She was a victim, a pawn in her mother's sick game. A game that ended in a tragic, bloody finale. In a shocking twist, it was Gypsy who was the victim, not the sick child her mother made her out to be. Justice isn't always black and white, especially when the victim becomes the perpetrator. This was the complex reality confronting Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a young woman who, in 2015, arranged for her online boyfriend to end the life of her abusive mother, Dee Dee. Gypsy's plea of guilty to second-degree murder came with a 10-year sentence, of which she served 85% before her release in 2023. Her time in prison was punctuated by a wave of public reaction, a mix of shock and sympathy. Many saw Gypsy not as a cold-blooded killer, but as a desperate victim of abuse. Gypsy's tale of manipulation, abuse and murder captured the attention of the world, becoming the subject of numerous documentaries and even a TV series. These projects aimed to shed light on the intricacies of her life and the circumstances leading up to her drastic actions. Gypsy's story had become a sensational tale of manipulation, abuse, and murder. Every story has an end, but for Gypsy, this was just a new beginning. Her life after prison is a stark contrast to the years of confinement and control she experienced under her mother. For the first time, Gypsy is experiencing true freedom, the kind that her mother had denied her. She's enjoying the simple pleasures of life that we often take for granted, choosing what to eat, where to go, and who to be with. Gypsy is also navigating the challenges of newfound public attention, a different kind of spotlight than the one her mother had cast on her. Gypsy's life after prison also includes love. She found companionship in Ryan Anderson, a man who reached out to her after learning her story. They're now married, navigating the ups and downs of life together. While the attention they receive can be overwhelming, they're committed to supporting each other. Ryan's support is a beacon of hope for Gypsy, a pillar of strength she can lean on as she reclaims her life. They're learning to resolve conflicts, to communicate, to live as a couple. It's a journey of discovery for Gypsy, a journey of second chances. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, once a prisoner of her mother's lies, now stands free, unchained, the author of her own life. Gypsy's life is a chilling tale of abuse, desperation, and redemption. Born into a world of deception, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's childhood was stolen by a mother who feigned her illnesses, subjecting her to unnecessary medical treatments. Gypsy's desperation led her to orchestrate a plot that ended in the tragic murder of her mother in 2015. Her plea of guilty to second-degree murder saw her serve the majority of a 10-year sentence. Prison, for Gypsy, was ironically a form of liberation, a stark contrast from the life she lived under her mother's manipulation. But Gypsy's story doesn't end in a prison cell. She has begun to rebuild her life, even finding love and getting married. Her journey, though fraught with hardship, is a beacon of resilience and a testament to the human spirit's indomitable will to survive. Gypsy's story has shed light on the dark corners of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, prompting a broader conversation about this form of abuse. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a name that will forever echo through the halls of true crime history, is a testament to the human spirit's resilience and the pursuit of freedom.